Okay, morning Matt.
Morning, you alright?
Yeah, not too bad. So here at the Writers Group we're going to discuss, give you some feedback back on your script.
Okay,
Yeah.
my script is Treasure. It's a short film based on some students going and finding a lost artefact. And they end up finding it, and it's been lost for quite a while, so they don't really know what this artefact does, and along those lines. So when they find out its actual power and what it can actually do, they end up going on the side of the artefact and trying to return it because of the power it holds.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've had a read through your script, which is looking great. So let's go through some feedback.
I've got some questions for you. The first one being, are the characters of a suitable age, and do you think that this character age will appeal to the target audience, which I've set as around 18 to 24 males?
18 to 24-year-old males, I think that is suitable in terms of who your audience are, especially as you've got two main protagonists, which obviously bounce off each other in terms of dialogue and making the narrative flow, which I think is really good. I think your audience is spot on, and I think your characters, based on the script you sent, reflects those. Obviously for you it would be about, when you come to film it, making sure they represent your audience visually in terms of mise-en-scène, costumes, that kind of thing, and locations as to where the action would take place. But overall, I'd say they suit.
Okay, thank you. So the second question I have is, would you be able to indicate any pros and cons of the script and provide any examples of what are pros and cons?
Yeah, I think in terms of a positive, it's the enigma codes throughout. So the dark figure, the lighting information, you can visualise it, and I think it fits in well with this thriller aspect. Variety of camera work and movement throughout, which I think, especially in terms of who your audience is, fits in really well in terms of the pace of it. For me, the positive definitely being variety of camera work and your subtle enigma codes. Cons or things to maybe improve. I'd say maybe a couple of the locations being in settings that an 18 or 24-year-old would be in. So maybe thinking about sourcing some of those locations, but 90% of them, so like the idea that they're playing sport and they're outside, that's pretty good, and that's obviously relatable to that particular audience. I'd say 90% of the locations are spot on. But maybe you think about something like a coffee shop or something.
Something where they might go and end up spending their evenings, or something along those lines.
That'll work.
Okay. So the third question I have is, do you think any editing techniques, which are obviously part of the script, do you think they appeal to the short film in general and therefore to the target audience? And do you think there's any more possible editing techniques that could be added that make the genre seem more fitting to the script?
I think it would be about, at this stage, pace. You've got a variety of camera work, which is great, especially when you've got things like when we see the artifact. So it would be about, I would expect to see your generic ones, so your insert shot of specific of the artifacts. Obviously that's your main iconography, and all the way through the pace of your editing in terms of the shot reverse shot structures between your characters. Now I can see from your script you have obviously indicated how the shot reverse shot structure is going to be structured in terms of the shot types and angles, which is really good. You get a really good sense of who is the dominant character compared to the subordinate one. So for me, I suppose it's going to be about pace. If it's a thriller, it's about also making sure you got variety in pace. So it's not. So I like how the beginning starts off quite calm, it's normal, the equilibrium's there, and then it changes. That disruption, that should get really quick. And I suppose another thing in terms of editing, maybe some intakes of breaths from your characters,
Yes,
maybe.
yes.
And also some stings and motifs, especially when the shadowed character comes in.
Yeah.
I should be scared.
Yeah.
So how you manipulate the music, you said, quoted
Yeah.
on your script, I think is going to really help you to create that theme and genre.
Yeah. So I mean, just overall, the music will be something that's very important to obviously to the end consumer, and could be something that really does make the script the difference between being a very good and film being very good and possibly not so good at the end.
Yeah.
So the next question is there anything that you think I could change about the characters' dialogue? Obviously, with them being quite informal, being that student level, or possibly even the language, the way they speak.
No, I think the language is appropriate for who your target audience is and the age of who your character is supposed to be. It's colloquial in places, it's quite chatty. A few swear words in places. I don't think that works. It's for a teenage audience. It's clearly for maybe 15 plus in terms of the themes, the potential violence and things. Where things could be really explicit in terms of violence. So no, I think that fits your audience well.
Okay, thank you. So the last question I have is, do you think the storyline feels realistic, and is there anything that makes the storyline possibly not feel like it's meant to be towards the target audience of the 18 to 24 male range? And if so, is there anything that you could comment on that would further help the script or the film in total improve?
Well, I think in general it's a really strong script, and because in terms of the detail you've gone into for your shooting script, I you can easily visualise what it's going to look like. I think it's clearly a merge between, it's got a bit of sci-fi elements in there. So I suppose in one breath it can't really be that realistic.
Yeah.
But I suppose for you it would be about, in terms of coming back to what we were saying about editing, visuals could incorporate some special effects, some CGI, especially for the figure that we see, and obviously the iconography. So maybe, use some maybe After Effects to create certain CGI and special effects to really bring in that sci-fi element. To especially appeal to your 18 to 24-year-old male audience.
Just to finish off the very end of the film, just to give it that bit more of an edge.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well that's all my questions. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, not a problem, Matt.
Thank you.